So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this live session, we will be talking about the Indian Express newspaper. I am sorry for the delay. There was another update from UPSC which was there, so we were talking about that on our live session. You can go and check it out as well. So now let's start with the today's Indian Express newspaper. We will be talking about some of the important aspects over here, that India-France ties, and we will also talk about the Einstein rings. There was a new, there is this telescope which has talked about the Einstein rings. We'll see what these rings are and how these are important for the space exploration, etc. Okay. Then coming to the next part, judicial interpretation of obscenity. Recently there was this controversy from the particularly few people were involved in that. So that was freedom of speech related controversy was there. So we have already discussed that particular aspect in the In Focus program. Now today we will be talking about judicial interpretation. There are two kind of doctrines which are there. So we will be talking about that. That can be important for us. Okay. So we will talk about that, and other than that the regular sections will be there, that is PYQ of the day and then the geography through maps. Okay. Now for your own read there will be an article from the history which you can go through if you are interested. Okay. And then explanation of the practice question, and then there will be the practice question in the end. Okay. So now let's start with the first part over here, that is PYQ of the day. With reference to the revenue collection by the Cornwallis, consider the following statements. First is the riotary settlement of the revenue collection. The peasants were exempted from revenue payment in case of the bad harvest or the natural calamities. Okay. Second statement is under the permanent settlement in the Bengal, if the zamindar failed to pay his revenues to the state or on or before the fixed date that was there, he would be removed from the zamindari. Now we will be talking about these statements. First let's talk about the permanent settlement. Now when we talk about permanent settlement, it was imposed somewhere around in 1793. Okay. So that was there, and in 1794 there was one clause which was added, that it is generally called as the sunset clause. Okay. Sunset clause which was added in 1974. Now we will be seeing that what is sunset clause. Let's come to this particular portion over here. Now here this particular line over here which is written about the sunset clause. Okay. Now it is saying that it was introduced in 1794. If the tax was due on the due date, then the authorities or the British authorities can take away the zamindari and give it to someone else. Okay. Now this was a pressure on the zamindar that if they are not giving to pay the tax on time, then it will be given to the some other person. Okay. With that, otherwise also there was one more aspect which was there, that was the you can say absent landlordism, which was also associated with this. You can go and read about that. Okay. Now coming to the, you can say, various kind of settlements or various kind of land revenues in the British era. You can see when you look at this particular map, you will be seeing that there were three kind of specifically land revenue system which was there. First here permanent settlement which was there, that was generally in the Bengal, Bihar and Odisha areas. Okay. So here the land rights were given to the zamindar. The ownership of the land was given to the zamindar. Okay. So now the peasants were not the owner of the land over there, they are just workers, but zamindar is the owner of the land. Okay. And he will be responsible for the revenue as well. Coming to the next one, that is in the areas of Bombay and Madras presidencies over here. So riotary system was there. So here directly the farmers were responsible for the land revenue. So what they used to do is that British authorities will go to the you can say that particular village or this particular area, and these farmers over here, they will directly give revenue to the Britishers. Okay. So that was the system over here. And then when we talk about this area of Punjab and UP over here, there was this Mahalwari system. The whole village was constituted into a unit. Okay. And these units were called as Mahal. Okay. So these Mahal used to pay the land revenue. So group of villagers used to give the land revenue from that. Okay. So there was three systems which were there. Okay. Now under this riotary system, you can say that this particular aspect which has been given in that, under the riotary settlement of the revenue collection, the peasants were exempted from the revenue payment in the case of the bad harvest or the natural calamities. If you have seen the movies, etc., you might be remembering that there was no mercy Okay, no such exemption was given to them. So that is why the peasant at that point of time was very, you can say, in the bad situations. So here this statement is wrong. By logic also you can say that British imperialism or the colonialism was exploitative in nature. So that kind of statement might not be right about it. Second one is correct, because if they did not pay the revenue on time, the zamindari was abolished or given to someone else. Okay, so option B would be your right answer. This is also a logical question, you can say. Okay, now moving further to the next part, that is basically your geography through maps. Here we have already talked about the hills, we have talked about the Mediterranean border. Now we are talking about the Caspian Sea. UPSC has asked about Caspian Sea earlier as well. They might ask you in the future as well. Okay, so when we talk about the borders here, Russia is having a border with the Caspian Sea, Azerbaijan is having a border with Caspian Sea, then Iran is there, here Turkmenistan is there, and Kazakhstan is there. Now, okay, you will be telling me that this particular country, which country is this, what is the name of this country, and make sure that you remember that it is not having border with Caspian Sea. There is generally a confusion between the Kazakhstan and the Turkmenistan. Okay, so please remember that as well. Okay, now let's move further and start with the articles. Before that, I would like to tell you that Drishti IAS is offering you ISGS foundation course at our new center, that is Noida sector 15. Prelims, this course will be available for prelims as well as mains. You know, integrated course is there, and it will be there in the offline mode. And English medium batches are starting from 17th of February. For Hindi medium batches are starting from 21st of February. Address is given. You can directly visit the center, or you can call on this number that is given, 87501 87501. Now moving further and starting with the first article of the day, that is talking about the India and France relations. Okay, so here you can see Modi Macron hold talks on the broad presidential aircraft. So there was this aircraft which they were there in. Nuclear reactors, missiles, engines, India and France deepens ties. Okay, so Mr. Modi was there for the AI summit in France, and now he is in USA as we are talking right now. Okay, so they have talked about nuclear reactors, missiles and engines. Now what you have to remember is that what kind of projects are there where India and France are working together. So here you can see nuclear energy and the energy cooperation. If you talk about joint development, India and France are to collaborate on the modern nuclear reactors and boost nuclear cooperations. Right now, you know that we are going for the small modular reactors. Okay, now in that regard, we are also thinking that if we are getting any kind of investment or any kind of collaborations, so that can also be one of the area where they can collaborate. Now we have Jodhpur project. Now when we talk about the nuclear energy, there are various projects which are there, in which you can see either Russia is having collaborations with us, or you know, France is having collaborations with us. Jodhpur is the one where India and France is having a collaboration. Okay, and they will be working on reaffirmed commitment has been shown with respect to the Jodhpur. Coming to the small modular reactors, which I have already told you, welcome collaboration on the SMRs and the advanced reactors for the cleaner energy. Okay, I hope that is clear. Coming to the next part over here, defense and the security ties, weapons and the submarines. Okay, this, when we talk about defense and the security ties, you will be saying that with Russia, with US, with France, we are having defense ties. Okay, so that is there. Weapons and the submarines, cooperation on the missiles, submarines and the aircraft. Scorpion class, when we talk about the Scorpion class, this is something where we had collaboration with France. Okay, so here you can see commissioning of the 6th submarine, that is INS Vagshir, under project 75. This project 75 is basically a project wherein we are going for the construction or the manufacturing of the submarines over here. But initially, if we talk about the Scorpion class, that has been, you can say, the this particular submarine has been having a cooperation with the France. Okay, coming to the next one, naval collaborations discussed integrating DRDO's air independent propulsion, that is AIP system in future in P-75 submarines. Okay, so that has been also discussed over here. Multi barrel rocket launchers, MBRL, France's interest in India's Pinaka MBRL system. Okay, this you can remember, Pinaka. Okay, so this is the name of the MBRL system. So France has shown interest in that as well. Coming to the next one, AI and the technology related roadmaps. AI action plan, India France launched a roadmap for the ethical and the secure artificial intelligence. Second, defense industrial roadmap, agreement on enhancing the defense manufacturing collaborations, which we have seen in the last slide as well. Economic and the Indo-Pacific engagement, that is the, you can say, strategic engagement they are talking about. Economic investment, France pledged you can say 1 billion towards the defense and the strategic projects. Okay, so that is there. Coming to the next one, Indo-Pacific strategy, if we are talking about strengthening the trilateral cooperation under the India, France and the Pacific frameworks. Okay, so again in the Indo-Pacific region, both USA is also active. When we talk about France, France is also having some stakes because they are having their territories over here. So considering that, that is important. Culture and the symbolic significance. If we talk about joint visit, Modi and Macron traveled together on a presidential aircraft, symbolizing strong personal ties. As I told you that they have been on a same spacecraft. Sorry. You can say aircraft, not spacecraft. World War Memorial visit. PM has paid a visit and a tribute to the World War I Memorial and the Mazargues War Cemetery in Marseille. Okay, so that is about the India and France and the recent developments in the ties, because if you talk about the older aspects which is covered in the static, which you can go through your notes. Right now we are focusing on the current aspects. Okay, so that has been discussed in the article. Now we can move further to the next one. Here they are talking about the Einstein you can say rings which are there. Here if you look at this particular picture, if you consider this as a galaxy, and you will be finding that there is this halo which is been there. Okay, now they are talking about this is basically your Einstein ring. Okay, so there is this European Space Agency ESA Elucid Space Telescope is there. So this Euclid, sorry, not Elucid, that is Euclid Space Telescope is there, and that particular telescope has found some rings around a galaxy. The name of the galaxy is given over here, that is NGC 6505. Okay, so they have found Einstein rings. We will be seeing that what Einstein rings are. Other than that, you don't have to worry much about this article, because UPSC will be focusing on the general aspects over here. So they will simply ask you that what is Einstein rings. Okay, so let's see. So they have actually witnessed these rings around it, Einstein rings around the galaxy, some 590 million light years ahead from the Earth. Okay, light years is basically when we talk about the distance in the space, that is generally represented in the form of light years, because light years is basically the distance light travels in 1 year. Okay, so that is there. Coming to what is Einstein ring. Einstein ring is a ring of light that may form around the dark matter, a galaxy or a cluster of galaxies. Now let's see, let's say there is a galaxy which is behind a galaxy. There is a galaxy over here, and behind that galaxy 2 is there. This is galaxy 1, galaxy 2 is there. Now there is a light which is coming from the galaxy 2. Now since it is coming over here, and you will be seeing that there is this obstruction which is there, light will have tendency that it will bend. Okay, when it will bend over here, so it will be there will be a halo which will be formed over here, and that is called as the Einstein ring. Now with that, Einstein has given a general theory of relativity, and they have said that with the presence of the dark matter or the gravitation, there will be a bending of light. If there is a bending of light, and if it is forming a ring around it, so with respect to that particular theory, they have given the name, that is this is called as the Einstein ring. Okay, so that has something to do with the Einstein theory of relativity, which is people are still trying to understand that. Okay, so that is your Einstein ring. In simple words, you can see there is a galaxy which is behind that, there is another galaxy over here, light which is coming from this galaxy is kind of bending over here. Okay, and that is called as the Einstein ring, because after bending there will be some kind of various type of light configurations will be formed over here, and that is we can see them in the form of rings, and that is why it is called as Einstein ring. Okay, so that is there. Now this can be done with respect to the dark matter. If there is a presence of dark matter, there will be bending of light. If there is a galaxy, because of that also there will be bending of light. If there is some kind of group of galaxies, group of different galaxies, or you can say cluster of galaxies which is there, in that case also there will be a bending of light. Ultimately, if you are seeing a ring of lights around galaxies, that is called as the Einstein ring. Okay, well, now one aspect over here is that is dark matter. What is dark matter? Dark matter is something nearly 80% or 85% of the matter which is there in the space, we don't know about it, but that exists. Okay, and how do you know that exists? Because it is interacting with light. Okay, if something is interacting with light, that means that something is there, and that is your dark matter. Okay, we do not know much about it, and that is why it is called as dark matter. Okay, so that is there. So what is Einstein's ring, and why do we study them? Let's see that. Okay, so here a ring of light that forms around the dark matter, a galaxy or the cluster of galaxies, due to the gravitational lensing. Gravitational lensing means that if there is a massive celestial body, and because of which the light is bending, that is called as what is lens. If you put a light over here, okay, light source is there, and then you have put a lens over here, so it will interfere with that. Okay, if there is a light like this, and it will make you go like that. Okay, so that is what is called as the light interference. And since it is, this is a lens, and similar form will be there in the space as well, galaxies will act as a lens, so that is called as the gravitational lensing. Okay, so a ring of light that forms around a dark matter or a galaxy or a cluster of the galaxies due to the gravitational lensing, that is called as the, you can say, Einstein ring. Gravitational lensing occurs when the massive celestial bodies creates a gravitational field distorting and amplifying the light from the distant background and the galaxies aligning with it. Now, why is that light will bend? Okay, the problem is that when we talk about the gravity, we only understand gravity as something, a force which is attracting objects, but not only objects, it also attracts the lights. When we talk about black holes have the so much gravity that they will consume light as well. Now similarly, massive galaxies like that, they also have attraction towards the lights, they will attract the light. So let's see, if there is a light which is traveling in this particular path, so it will attract it, and this will go like this. Okay, it is going like this, and but because of the gravitational pull, it will go like this, and they will make a ring around that. That is what is called as gravitational lensing. Okay, so gravitational lensing occurs when a massive celestial body creates a gravitational field distorting and amplifying the light from the distant background galaxy aligned with it. Now NCG 6505 acted as a gravitational lens, bending the light from the distance of unnamed galaxy, which is 4.45 billion light years away. Okay, so that is what is there. Extremely the rare phenomena. When we talk about this Einstein rings, these are rare phenomena, these are not occurring in the, you can say, frequency. So these are rare phenomena. Less than 1% of the galaxies are having such rings. Okay, so that is there. Requires powerful space telescope like Euclid for the observation. Okay, so that is about Einstein ring. Now why is that we are studying about it? So first, it is telling you about the dark matter. If there is a ring and there is nothing else, no substance is around that, that means that it is interacting with the dark matter. Okay, helps investigate dark matter which does not interact with light. Okay, but the gravitational effect. Okay, so basically when we talk about the dark matter, it will have a gravitational effect. Okay, but it does not interact with the light. So considering that, you will be saying that if there is a gravitational lens which is there, so that means that there can be a presence of dark matter. Coming to the next one, dark matter makes up 85% of all matters in the universe, and it is detectable via the gravitational lensing only. Okay, because it is not interacting with light, but there is a gravitational lensing phenomena which is going on over here as well. Understanding the distance galaxies. If there is a galaxy behind a galaxy, how will you know about it? If there is a galaxy which is not even visible from the strongest of telescopes, how will you know about that? Okay, this is one phenomena. If there is a closer galaxy is there, and then there is a distant galaxy. Now if there is a ring over here, that means that there can be a far away galaxy from which light is coming and which is forming the Einstein ring. Okay, then coming to the next one, understanding the distance galaxies, which we have already seen. Now coming to the next one, expansion of the universe offers insights into the expansion of the space between Earth and the other galaxies. Support NASA's research on the cosmic distance measurements and the universal expansion. So basically this will help you understand the, you can say, phenomena which are there in the space. Okay, so that is the usefulness or the, you can say, significance of the Einstein rings. Okay, then coming to the Ranvir Allahabadia row, what does the law say about it? Now we will not go into the controversy, we will just focus on the law over here. So let's see. Here you can see law governing the obscenity in India. There is section 294 of Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, which is saying that it penalizes selling, importing, exporting, advertising, or the profiting from the obscene content, that is painting, figures, materials, electronic form, etc. So that is one form which is there in 294. Then section 67 of the Information Technology Act, which is criminalizing the publishing or transmitting the obscene material online. Okay, if there is a video, if there is an image and you are transmitting it, that is also a criminal offence. Coming to the next one, section 296 of BNS, that is penalizing performing obscene act or singing or reciting obscene songs in public, that is also criminal offence. So these are the criminal offences which are there in the new laws. Okay, as well as in the IT Act. So these sections you can remember. Okay, now coming to the next part over here, that is basically a judicial interpretation of the obscenity. I told you there are two doctrines. One is Hicklin test. Hicklin test is basically defining obscenity in a way, if there is a content which is depressing or the corrupts a mind of a person who is vulnerable to it. Okay, so let's see, here you can say it depraves or the corrupts the minds of those people who are open to the immoral influence. Immoral influence means that, or open to immoral influence means that, those who can be influenced by that, let's say teenagers or the kids. So that is there. Okay, this is applied in the Ranjit U. Udaisi versus State of Maharashtra, where Supreme Court has held someone responsible. That is not important for you. Just know that this Hicklin test was there, and it is from UK. So that is there. That is how they are saying that basically this is obscenity is something which is kind of influencing those who are vulnerable to it. Okay. Coming to the next one, community standard test. Now this is the second doctrine which is going a little further than the Hicklin test over here. They are saying that it considers the impact of the material on the average person in the society. Okay, on the average person in the society, and that is talking about to those who are open to the immoral influence, or those who are vulnerable to it. And here they are talking about the average person in the society. Okay, so this is a broader concept, you can say. It was actually given in the Roth versus United States case in 1957, and in India also it was applied in 2014 Avik Sarkar versus State of West Bengal case. You don't have to go into details of these cases. Okay, so that is about two doctrines which are there, Hicklin test and the community standards test. Now coming to the next part here, Tughlakabad Fort. High Court has given you can say direction that you have to demark the area, and you can say to protect this particular area, because this is into ruins right now. Okay, so when we talk about the Tughlakabad Fort, this is important from your art and architecture point of view. So it was built by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Okay, from the Tughlaq dynasty 1321 to 25, and who belongs to the Tughlaq dynasty, I told you it was the fortified city which was built in 4 years. Okay, on a rocky terrain. You will be seeing, if you go to Delhi, in there is this Tughlakabad area which is there, where there is a fort which is on a hilly terrain. Okay, it is a you can say that from the rest of the area it is on a higher altitude. Okay, so that is there, and it was built from the defense purpose. So that was there, you can see the walls of this fort was slant in nature. So this was something new which has been incorporated at that that point of time in the architecture. There are two parts, one is citadel and the palaces which are there. Other than that, city was in a way that it was designed. Okay, so you can see there are various elements, or the ruins are telling you that there are various streets would have been there, there was market would have been there. Okay, so that is there. Across the main entrance from the south, there is Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq's tomb in the vicinity. So that is also there, and it is built with the red sandstone, and marble has also been used somewhere. So that is there. And Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq's successor, that is Muhammad bin Tughlaq, in 1325 to 51, added a small fortress of the Adilabad on the hill of the south of the Tughlakabad. Okay, Adilabad and Tughlakabad, these two names you should remember from your history's point of view. Okay, right now if you look at the Tughlakabad, that is into ruins. Okay. Now coming to the next part over here, that is passing reference to this, big birds to take to the sky. There are some when we talk about India, we are having this Aero India event which is going on in Bangalore, Sri Lanka. So basically there are foreign aircrafts which has been taking part over here. So you can remember the name of these aircrafts, because UPSC might ask you in the match the following section. Okay, so you can go through F-35, that is from USA. Then we have F-16, that is also from USA. Sukhoi, that is from Russia. Okay, other than that, there is this Embraer, that is from Brazil. Then we have JAS 39, that is from Sweden. Then Airbus is there from Germany, and Airbus A330. You don't have to remember this one, but you should know about these three at least. Okay, because they are from USA and Russia. These are our partners. Okay, so that is there. So you should remember these names. Other than that, one more you can say aircraft was in news from India, which we have discussed in the in-depth section. Okay, so you can go through that. Now for your own read, there is this article, story of Savarkar's attempt. Okay, now this is from your history. If you are interested, you can go through it, otherwise no need. Okay, now in the end we have the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture, that which ministry is responsible for the evaluating the proposed GDKP, that is knowledge economy related portion, which we have discussed yesterday. Option C would be a right answer, that is Ministry of Statistics and the Program Implementation. And in the end we have a practice question for you from today's session, that is the Jaipur nuclear power plant is being developed in collaboration with which country? Russia, France, USA or Japan. Okay, so that is today's discussion. With that, I would like to take your leave. You can attempt this question and answer to me in the comment box. With that, I'll be seeing you in the next session. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you, and please subscribe the channel.